I can't before change the title. I can't be arsed. I can't be arsed changing the title. We're live?
What? We're live.
We're live. We're live. We're live. I think we're live.
Did you see that you've got...
Yes, we're live.
You see you've got 420 subscribers?
I know, 420. What are the odds? I'll get 420.
I thought you just looked on it there. Oh.
I'll get 420 subscribers. That's pretty good. So we currently have 0 people watching. Yes. Goals. I better put up on so I better put up in places I'm live. Oh shit! No way. The Drunken Theorist is here. Yes.
Oh, he's already here.
Yes, he's here. Aaron's here. Happy days. Into the Aaron verse, the Drunken Theorist himself. Hey man, how you doing? So obviously we are here to discuss. I'm here with Matty Monsta. Who cares, nerds? Woo! We all care. Do you know what's fucking hilarious? Like, I'm going to go back to the time when we first interacted with each other via the POTOR podcast of the Old Republic. And you came up, and I think you said something, and you said, "Who cares, nerds?" And I was like, "Cheeky bastard!" And it was Steve. I think it was either Steve or Dan. It was like, "Well, that's his name." I'm just like, "Oh shit, okay." Oh no, we're talking about something. We're talking about podcasts. We're talking about podcast names. And you just said, "Who cares, nerds?" And I'm just like, "Cheeky prick, what the fuck's all about?" And I realized, your name was Who Cares. Your podcast was Who Cares, Nerds. And I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking funny, actually. So we are live on Tuesday night. Thanks for the guys so far who are watching. The Drunken Theorist himself is here. Happy days. I'm here with Matty Monsta, Who Cares, Nerds. He's not slagging us. It's actually his real, podcast name. So we're going to discuss, we'll be on for an hour or so. We're just going to discuss our love for the Ghostbusters franchise. I love it. I love the franchise. It's spanned over 30 years. Dan actually just realised during our discussion on Sunday when the lads went out, lads, the 3 of us went out for a few drinks, and Dan realised that he literally has been a Ghostbusters fan for 30 years. I'm like, shit, that's mental. So he's that old, he's been a fan for 30 years. That's what it is. But yeah, the Ghostbusters franchise, I've seen Afterlife. I went to see it on Friday night. Steve, I think, went to see it on Friday night as well. His fiancée Katie. I went to see it with my girlfriend Kirsty. To the differentiate of fiancée, girlfriend. She's put me up for that. And then Dan went to see it with his wife on Saturday. And I get shit for that as well.
See, you've got all the Pokemon evolutions there.
Basically, girlfriend engaged, wife. So we all went to see it separately, and then we got the band together for Sunday night for a few drinks and other spoons. The good old spoons of weather. Where it was cheap drink, cheap food. And we discussed Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, I loved it. Dan loved it. And Steve really liked it, but it wasn't. It wasn't. He's got some issues with it. I mean, I had issues as well with it. I kind of looked past all the issues. But obviously, Matt, you've not seen Ghostbusters Afterlife, so obviously, watching in the live chat, etc. Please do not ruin or spoil Ghostbusters Afterlife. I love the fact that quite a lot of the community have not spoke this film, and there's a lot of holy shit moments that you're just like, that's impressive. That's not even been spoiled. Seriously. Don't get me wrong, I did Google after seeing the film. I did Google, and if you look for it, you'll find the spoilers, but I'm not quite there front and center. So it's just quite good. I like the respect for fans, etc. I mean, we all know that the old guys are back, right? That's self-explanatory. We know they suit up. We know all that stuff. But what they do with them and what they do with certain other characters, you're just like, oh shit, mommy, daddy. It was tears of joy, tears of happiness. I got what I wanted in a Ghostbusters 3. So as far as that is, that's it. That's it. We're cool. So now, Ghostbusters. Matty, when was your first experience of Ghostbusters? So I thought I'll start with that big kind of
that's a good question.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Because I thought you were going to ask me this, and I was meant to think about it, but I never did.
Will I help you?
Earliest memory I've got of Ghostbusters is, I'm sure I had it on VHS.
Oh shit, yeah.
Right?
I had that as well.
Can't remember who it was that originally showed me it. It was probably my dad, because he's one of the ones that she's the one that got me into Star Wars, into Indiana Jones, all the usual pop culture sort of
That's pretty cool. That's
nonsense
pretty cool.
stuff.
The classics, the
Aye,
hits.
the good tunes.
Yeah, of course.
He's also the one that showed. He's also the one that showed me Rambo when I was 5 years old. So you know, like this is the kind of man we're dealing with.
Well, my mum showed me Rambo. She was the first to show me First Blood when I was like 10, 11. And like I never looked back. It's a great fucking film.
Aye,
Great
still is a great fucking film.
it's fantastic. Like that alone is a great film.
Aye. Right, back to Ghostbusters before we tangent off already.
I know.
Like 5 minutes.
I know.
5 minutes in, we're already doing it.
I know.
So Ghostbusters, my earliest memory, maybe about 6 or 7 years old.
Fair enough.
So early 2000s for me.
Oh, there he is. There
we
is.
go. But
that's like mid 90s for me.
it was one of those movies that I watched it and I was like seeing the same way everybody talks about Clerks.
Yeah, okay.
Inspiration where like this is stuff it's funny, but it's also it's got a lot of action in it and stuff like that as well. But it's not being like violent action. It's funny stuff as well, and it's sci-fi. It's like a mixture of a whole load of different genres that you don't really realize when you're watching it. But then you look back and you're like, right, that's from that sort of type of movie. Yeah, and I think it was the first one that I'd watched where I was like, this is actually like, it was the first time, like obviously when I was wee, I didn't know actors sort of names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think because like obviously you watch something when you're wee and you're like, oh, that guy's Batman. That guy's like you don't think of them as a, like, sounds stupid, but you don't think of them as a person. You think of them as that character.
Yeah.
But like that, I think that was the first movie I ever watched. Like where I noticed Bill Murray as like a comedian, and then started looking for like Bill Murray movies, sort of thing. Asking my mum and dad to get movies with him in it because like he's a funny guy. Like I want to see more of the stuff that he does, sort of thing. Yeah. And Dan Aykroyd as well. Like he's one of the he's not as, I wouldn't say he's as, no, that's not, she's not as funny as Bill Murray, but he's not as recognizable as someone that age, sort of thing. But he was one of the people. I think it's with my mentality. I kind of like go towards the people in the background rather than the front people, because that's why I like Robin more than Batman as well. Okay. So it's like I like the sidekicks, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you say Ghostbusters, you're just Bill Murray. Aye. Like nobody really thinks about Dan Aykroyd. Don't get me wrong though, as I've got older and as more when I discuss it with Steve and Dan, no, you do have a lot of respect for the other guys, because they're not just the other guys. At one point when I was younger, it was just Bill Murray and the other guys. But then you start to realise that Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and obviously the great Harold Ramis. Oh God. It's just a team I wanted. But yeah, I get what you're saying. No, like when I was younger as well, I was kind of like bamboozled by like, how is he Batman? But then he's like Harrison Ford, for example. Like my mind didn't quite get how like he was Han Solo, but he's also Indiana Jones.
Aye.
You're like, how is that? I mean, don't get me wrong, they're essentially the same characters, only one's in space and one's on Earth. Yeah. But you're still like, how is that? And my mum was just like, oh, he's an actor, he's acting. I'm just like, acting? I'm just like, what? It's not fucking real. Well, the Star Wars isn't real. So yeah, I get what you're saying, no, but when you do find like these actors and other things, you're just like, oh my God. But you know what my funny thing was? See when you discover sequels.
Yeah.
See when you realise there's more than just one film, I'm just like, oh my God, it's amazing. Like Back to the Future, you're just like the first one, that was it, and it ends, and obviously only 2 and 3 other ones that got to be continued. So when you watch the first one, you're just like, oh, that's cool. When you get a wee bit older, you realise there's a part 2 and a part 3. Or if you're a fan of the Police Academy film, you realise there's another 19. Like they bamboozled me. I did not realise how fucking many there was of them films until I got older. I'm just like, and then it's funny though, when you were a kid, there seemed so much more than just 7 films. And when you're older, you're just like, there's only 7? I feel as if there was 12. It's so weird. But no, so your earliest thing was like 5, 6 years old.
5 or 6, aye.
That's pretty cool. The Drunken Theorist, Aaron has said, how does this compare to the last one? I haven't seen the new one yet. So do you mean like Ghostbusters 2016? Because it's fucking like I mean, night and day isn't even the phrase. Like it's it's the true Ghostbusters 3 that we all want. Ghostbusters 2016, like I haven't rewatched it. I've only ever seen it once in the cinemas. Dan rewatched it and said it's just bad. Steve, I don't think Steve's even. I think he's seen it once as well, like me. It's one of those kind of things where in the cinema, I didn't enjoy it, but I thought it was okay. It wasn't bad.
Like I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here, right? I liked the Lady Ghostbusters, but I didn't like it as a Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
but in my head, it was a good movie. The dancing Chris Hemsworth was a bit fucking weird, but apart from that, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I could obviously see that we're just trying a bit too hard to be the original Ghostbusters, trying to be a remake sort of thing. But I like the fact that they were able to get the 3 original guys back as like wee cameos as other characters. I liked that, and then it was it meant like that gave us a wee bit of hope that this movie would actually happen as well. I thought, because it meant like they were able to get Bill Murray back.
Yeah,
he was the thing. It was kind of holding everything up, because it was for years they were saying, "Oh, is it going to happen?" sort of thing.
He was one of the highlights. I actually loved like the fact that he was a guy who hated ghosts, who was against supernatural. I thought it was so perfect for him, and then they killed him. Like his wish was, if he comes back for Ghostbusters 3, kill me off. And they done it. They done it in such a weird way. Luke and Aaron are both here, so they're both here. Hey guys, how you guys doing? Obviously, Aaron, you've been here, but Luke's here as well. Yes, Aaron, that one, 2016. It's not like it's perfection compared to 2016. And I'm not saying that because 2016, like I'm not saying like, oh, it's perfection compared to that, but it's still not great. It's fantastic. Like it is Ghostbusters 3. It really is an amazing film. But yeah, the 2016 one, I rewatched other films and I bypassed that because I'd seen so many clips online that it just pissed me off. I'm just like, yeah, that's why I didn't really like it. I didn't know. It's a right. The 2016 film is a weird one for me. It's like the absolute hate and negativity surrounding it when it first came out. Like even just like the start, the production of it, and it first came out, and then afterwards, and then like the cast and crew being like, if you don't like this film, then you're obviously a sexist pig. And you're just like, no, it's because I don't like the film. Yeah. Like they were all right. Like Melissa McCarthy, I like her. Kirsty likes her. I like her. Paul Feig or whatever it's called. He's a good director. Bridesmaids is a fantastic film. What you call her? Kristen Wiig. I like her as well. I think she's quite cool. I thought she was hot as hell in Wonder Woman 1984. Like she was really cool.
She was like the only thing that kind of kept me gripped onto like the female Ghostbusters. She was fucking mental.
Yeah, she was like a female Egon but on steroids.
Aye.
Like she was fun. I'm like, she's actually pretty cool.
She's the reason like my wife changed her Wi-Fi password to safety lights off her dudes because of that thing at the very end. Like that was years ago, but it was brilliant.
Fair enough.
But like,
why not?
That's I think that's one of the things as well, though. It's like, see when you watch it, it's like that movie. See that Jack Black movie, Be Kind, Rewind. It's like it's kind of like they're trying to make the first Ghostbusters movie in their own way, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, with better special effects.
Be Kind, Rewind. That's a good film, actually. That's a good callback.
But that's what kind of reminds me of it. Like it's just like I get what they're trying to do, and I get like they were trying to do like some sort of remake sort of thing. It came off a wee bit weird. It was more like four lassies going to Comic-Con, like trying to be Ghostbusters sort of thing in my mind. But that's not to say it wasn't a good movie.
It was pretty decent.
It just wasn't a really good Ghostbusters movie in my eyes.
Yeah. It's like Mission Impossible 2, for example, the one with John Woo directed. Like it's a pretty bad Mission Impossible film, but it's a pretty good action film. So I'll sit and watch it for the shits and giggles. Like it's a good hour and a 2 hour 2000 action film. But yeah, enough about the 2016 film. Not that we're not sexist pigs, because obviously we've established that we do like the people.
We are talking Ghostbusters. We have to include all.
Same way
on Podcast The Old Republic. You talk about all the good 6 movies, and then you have to talk about the 3 bad ones.
Exactly.
It's the exact same. Well, he admitted it. We've got it on record on his own channel and everything.
Shit. My first. We'll try and bypass that, you prick. My first, I said this to Stephen Dan. If I'm correct, I'm sure my first Ghostbusters was Ghostbusters 2. I'm sure it was. It's very strange, but I'm sure it was.
There's many movies for like the 80s and 90s that you could watch the sequel first.
Yeah.
And it would be okay. So because that's the way I did it with Jurassic Park. I watched the first one.
Okay.
And then I watched the third one because it came out in the cinema without watching the second one, and then went back and watched the second one. I always thought it was a weird order to watch.
But I went to see Lost World with my mom in 1997.
At the same time, I was at that age. I wasn't really paying attention to the story. I was turning up to see CGI dinosaurs eat people. Yeah. That was the story to me.
Yeah.
But looking back now, I'm like, if I'd done that when I was wee, I would have been like smacking myself about. Like, what are you doing? Go and watch them in order, boy.
Yeah, exactly.
But now, but now, like, I prefer to watch things in the way this kind of happen. I'll do like watching prequels and all that as well.
Yeah.
But like, it's just that and Back to the Future as well.
Yeah, obviously you watch them in order.
That one you have to kind of watch in order. You understand the whole story, because it's like that one is a very story-driven sort of movie series, whereas like, Jurassic Park is still that, but at the same time, realistically, everybody's really just showing up to see dinosaurs most of the time. Like, they're not really 100% there for the whole story.
What's your so we're talking about Ghostbusters 2 quickly, because that was my first that was my kind of like awakening of Ghostbusters. What's your thoughts on Ghostbusters 2? Because there's a lot of people who there's a lot of people who hate, like, just hate Ghostbusters 2. There's them people on the fence. Me and Dan, we've realized that we genuinely love Ghostbusters 2. Like, we really do love it. Like, we both love it so much. Steve, I don't think Steve's ever really mentioned it out loud, but yeah, he's a kind of secret closet. Like, I like it, but I don't want to say it. I love Ghostbusters 2. Like, I love it near enough as equal as the first one. Like, I thought it's just different. It's different.
Yeah.
They've tried to do something different. But then obviously you've got some nods and some, like, you know, like, you're like, that's pretty much the first one. So like the Statue of Liberty, you're like, State Puff. There's things, obviously there's comparisons. Yeah. But I think number 2 is a very ballsy movie. It's darker, like, fucking right. It's darker as hell. Like, you get Vigo, you know, the Caucasian. I can't be Caucasian.
The bad guy.
Vigo the painting. Like, you've got Vigo. He was evil. You've got Vigo. You've got the wee art gallery manager. Whatever he's called. Janosch. He was batshit crazy. Like, he was creepy as fuck. See, when he got the eyes, he's looking through the walls. He's looking for baby Oscar, and then when he's the nanny ghost, I'm like, oh hell no! Get me earlier. I like Ghostbusters 2, and even like down to the underground tunnel sequence.
Aye, the slime.
Like, see when they're walking along the tracks and it's a ghost train. Like, see when I went, so some YouTube channel somewhere, there's a video somewhere, I went down to the old Botanic Gardens underground train station. It was pitch black. That's all I could think of. I thought myself, I'm going to take a ghost train or something like that. I got the shit scared. I was really, like, I'd watched Ghostbusters 2 the night before. I'm like, oh, mommy, daddy, that's going on tomorrow. Should have done that. Thankfully, we're all good, but like, that sequence alone was fucking petrifying.
Like, I like the second Ghostbusters. I don't like it as much as I like the first one, but that's because the first one's the first one. Like, it's the same with most sort of franchises. Like, the second one's usually not as good, but in saying that, I think all I can think of is all the really good ones, like Back to the Future, Spiderman. The second movie isn't always 100%, but like sometimes it can be fantastic. I do love the second one, but because I like the idea of, like, see, having to change up the proton packs and all that to something else, like to use slime instead of having to use the
or the white stuff, basically fire extinguisher stuff.
Aye, I thought that was pretty cool because it's like you've seen them how they made or how they put together their equipment in the first movie, and now this is them changing it up a bit to fight a different sort of ghost essentially.
Yeah.
And in my mind now, like watching it back, you're just like, that's clearly so they could sell different toys. Like,
oh, definitely.
But at the same time, it was cool to see them not just using the same gear to fight the same stuff the whole time, like having to do something new, sort of thing.
Great film.
With the cosplayer mind that I've got as well, that's like one of the earliest moments I was like, right, I could make that out of that sort of thing, because it was basically just a big tank on his back.
Yeah,
but attached to the original sort of proton pack stuff.
I know. I'm saying fire extinguisher stuff. That was no, it wasn't. It was a slime. I don't know. I thought that. Yeah, exactly. They basically just created that to make more toys. They're just like, fuck it, new toys. But
the Empire State Building as well. The way they controlled that was with an NES controller as well. Did you not remember that?
Is the Statue of Liberty?
That's what I meant.
It's okay. Yeah,
but that's us both got one each, right? I've got
exactly.
Star Wars. You've got
exactly
landmarks.
Oh. That's quite good. But the thing is, like, see, at the end of the day, like, I love the first Ghostbusters, but I'm going to put my foot in the ear and say I think Ghostbusters 2 has a bit more memorable moments. Like the ghost of the Titanic ghost ship, Statue of Liberty, the courtroom sequence. You know, when Lewis Tully, is it Lewis Tully? Yeah, Lewis. When Rick Moranis is like, you know, I only done lawyers at night school, and Dan Aykroyd's like, well, you know, thankfully we got arrested at night. I'm just like, that's genius. That's funny as fuck. Thankfully we got arrested at night. And I'm just, that's brilliant. There's a few more memorable moments in Ghostbusters 2 than is in the first one. But don't get me wrong, the first one is a fucking masterpiece. You get Stay Puft, you get the Terror Dogs, you've got, you know, Twinkie. It's a huge Twinkie. Like it's so brilliant. Even the cards, the lines, and the girl clearly got the cards wrong. The predictions of the cards wrong. But he's just like, fuck it, she's fit. Zap the boy. It's just
see when I watched it back, I realised the boy was right every single time.
I know. He actually got it right quick. I watched it as well. I was looking at the cards. I was like, because the swiggly lines, I'm like, he got that right. That's pure pish. There's actually there's a pretty funny wee callback to like that sequence in the post credits of Afterlife. There's 2 post credits, and that's the first one, and it's actually pretty. I mean, does it feel forced? Yes. Does it work though? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll discuss more about it in our podcast, The Old Republic review. We're filming it tomorrow, so it'll probably be out in like next week or so. But I'm also filming my solo review. I'll do it tomorrow. And I'll chop that up in the next few days. Spoilers everywhere. But as for the guys watching, Aaron and Luke, what were your first kind of like thoughts of like Ghostbusters? Like, when did you first like watch Ghostbusters? Which one did you watch? Did you watch the cartoons? Did you watch the films? Your like your earliest memories. Yeah, the cartoons were fantastic.
I completely forgot.
The real Ghostbusters is a great show.
We like when I moved in with Susie, we watched them all. I can't remember if it was on. It was probably Amazon Prime.
I think they're on Netflix, I think, possibly.
They were on Netflix at one point, but I think we watched them all because we got them all on Amazon Prime. And we watched them all, and she was talking, like, and she told me, she was like, in her mum's loft, she's got like an original Ghostbusters cartoon proton pack.
Oh shit!
EKG meter and everything, and a ghost trap, and I was like, and this stuff is in the loft because, like,
I know. Get it up on the wall.
Why are you hiding it?
That's mental. Aaron's saying he's shook. Well, that's because I've said about Ghostbusters to have more memorable moments. Does Goosebumps count? Kind of so. Goosebumps. Okay, Goosebumps counts, I guess. Does you mean Goosebumps isn't like your? I'm confused. I don't know. Anyway, go on, Matty. Go on.
What else? I think I also had the Nintendo game for the first game.
Yeah.
Which, like, if you've ever seen the Angry Video Game Nerd on YouTube, he's done a review on it about 15
I
minutes.
know who that is. I know that person. I know I've seen that. I've seen it before.
He's done a review of it, and I could agree more with it. It's just it is the biggest pile of shite like ever.
For the game.
Like he's done a review of all the sort of Ghostbusters games that ever came out on the old consoles. I think the best one ever came out was on the Sega Genesis. And Genesis. But it was for the second movie.
Okay.
But it was one of the ones he was like at, like when the first movie did really well. Usually, if the movie does well, you're almost guaranteed to get a shitty game of it.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas if the movie isn't as good, you'll get a less shitty game. Like it'll be still shitty in spaces, but it's still playable. It's still something you could enjoy in a different way.
That's a weird one.
I know, but like, see, and when you actually play the game, you wonder because there's bits in it. It's like you have to buy all of their equipment and stuff like that, and you're just like, why are they not making it? There's a load of driving stages as well, but the car is about the size of the screen, like literally, like on the video here, that is about the size of the car, the size of my hand, and then that's about the amount of movement you get. But everything is coming down towards you. You've got to dodge. So it's like there's a bit where you've got to climb upstairs to get to the top of the building, like where Gozer is at the very top of it.
Yeah.
But you can't use your proton packs on the stairs at all to fight the ghosts. You've just got to kind of like button tap, so it's basically just a reason to buy a turbo controller. You end up with abs on your thumbs, like
brilliant.
But it's one of them games. Like I remember getting it, and I got it. I was sure it was one of the ones we got from Blockbuster, and it was open at the time when they were renting out games.
Blockbuster.
Back in the day. I'm that old where I was on the tail end of that, but still.
I love how you remember it as well. Fantastic.
But it was one of the ones like I remember us getting it and playing it, and then got sent back really angrily because that's crap. That was one of the reviews on it.
I used to hate renting games at the video shop because you had to get it back and you're like, I don't want to get it back.
I know.
I don't want to finish it.
That's the thing. I've got all the old consoles now, apart from like an Atari. That's the only thing I really want, but it's really hard to find. It's really hard to find one in good condition that's still.
Have you got an N64?
I've got an N64, GameCube.
Have you got GoldenEye?
Yes, I do. Of course, I do.
Yes. How shitty is it now? Like I played it. Like
graphics are shitty. Like see, because we've all adjusted to like Halo Infinite level fucking graphics nowadays. Yeah. Like, we're all like, every time you look at something like that, you're like, oh god. But see, one game that should come out that should not need to get like remastered or anything, that is Simpsons Hit and Run. I've been saying it for years.
Oh, that's a good game. That's a good game.
They would not even need to update the graphics on that.
They
need to release it as it was.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun of that game.
You know what I want? Like, see Apple or Amazon. Apple, obviously, for their MacBooks or for their iPads, and then Amazon for like their Amazon Prime TV sticks and stuff like that. Release like vintage games. Like I've got San Andreas on my Amazon box, and I've got Grand Theft Auto 3 on my MacBook through Apple. I would love if one of them just re-released like Simpsons Hit and Run. The re-releases of San Andreas and Grand Theft Auto 3 are just the exact same old graphics. Just the exact same. So Simpsons Hit and Run, oh my god, how fucking good was that game? So good. God damn, it was so good. So good. Mate, well done. That's another good callback. Nice. Tick off the box.
Who else is in the chat? Oh, there's he's put up his first memory was seeing the Slimer and being absolutely terrified of him.
I saw Slimer and thought, fuck, that's me. He's also saying Simpsons Hit and Run, any GTA. Exactly, like all the GTA games are fantastic. I'm worried because obviously GTA are getting the remastered trilogy, GTA 3, San Andreas, and Vice City, I think. Anyway,
Sure,
the GTA trilogy, and I've heard it's really bad. I've heard the mods are terrible. It's not good. The updated, remastered is terrible. And Rockstar have actually issued a statement saying they're going to fix it all, get it all done. But the like a hard copy disc, the discs are coming out in December. So I'm that's the cost of it. Like I think it's like 50 quid. And I'm like, just get me that for my Christmas. Either I'll get that for your Christmas or you get it for my Christmas. Because I would love that trilogy because that's a good fucking trilogy, like a really good trilogy. Yeah. Vice City, I'm not fussed about, but more San Andreas and Grand Theft Auto 3. Grand Theft Auto 3 was the first Grand Theft Auto game that me and my brother Lewis had. It took us a few years to actually get my mum to buy it because she was like, I'm not buying it. No. Because the guy in the game shop, who was like, I don't know, 18. I was like, what, 12, 13 at the time. And when we first went in, I'm like, I want Grand Theft Auto 3. It was like £7. I think it was like £7 or £10 for the pre-owned.
Aye.
And my mum's like 18, and I'm just like, but come on, it's a game. And she thought the same, but she's like, it's a game, but there must be something to it. Because back in the day when like Manhunter, is it Manhunter, whatever it was, all the games come out and are all brutal, and like everyone's like the most brutal game ever, and you think it's a fucking game. Obviously nowadays you're like, holy shit, they're brads.
That not the one that got banned because it was that brutal.
Yeah, but, it got banned. That's getting a remaster or a new version made of it. Anyway, long story short, the guy from Game was just like, Mum's like, oh, Grand Theft Auto 3, why is it an 18? And the guy just said the violence. Mum's like, right, there's what violence can have in the game. And then he said, and then there's also the part of the game where you can get a hooker to come into your car and do things to you. I'm just like, dude, come on, help me out here, help a brother out. I was like, dude, come on, help me out here. I want to buy this game, and you're just shitting on my dreams here. So it took my mum a good few years for her to buy Grand Theft Auto 3. I think I was like 15 or 16 before I got it. Like that bad. But yeah, those are the days. But yeah, Ghostbusters. So oh, there we go. Ross Atkins is here. Hey man. Manhunter 2 is banned. You can still buy Manhunter 1. Oh, fair enough. Are they doing now, Ross? I saw something briefly. It was one of those things that Facebook refreshed. Is Manhunter getting a remake or a remaster or something? Because I saw something quickly. Because I missed Manhunter first time round because I was too young, and it was brutal and it was banned, or well, the second one was. But yeah, hey Ross, I'm glad you're here though. Yeah, Ghostbusters. I like we love Ghostbusters. Like, I mean, do you know what's funny though? Growing up, I had the two films on a video, and Dan described the same thing. I think Dan had the same thing. And it was like a kind of box set. Like you opened up, it was like, you know, Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2. And it was fantastic. I loved it. But I don't remember ever having anything else Ghostbusters wise. I don't remember having any games when I was younger or any toys. I don't know. I don't remember the toys being that popular with me.
I'm the same. I don't remember that many Ghostbusters toys.
There was. I mean, there was the Extreme Ghostbuster cartoon. They figures were out.
Aye.
But I remember I really was Sleepy Collectibles this year. Hey man, how you doing? The only I was diehard with the Power Rangers franchise. So every Power Rangers season came out, I get every single figure. You know, Lost Galaxy, In Space, not Mighty Morphin. I missed the cutoff point for them because I was watching the reruns of them. When I started watching Power Rangers, it was just at the smack bang end of Mighty Morphin, and it went into the Zeo franchise. So I got all the ones and stuff like that. I've collected Mighty Morphin throughout the years. Obviously, my Red Ranger shrine. I also got the Ghostbusters shrine as well. But I don't remember ever having Ghostbuster action figures until now. This is my first action figures of Ghostbusters. I never really seen them that much. Can you clarify that?
I think. See, I want to say the same, but I said, my missus has got older. I don't know if it's the Ghostbusters movie stuff or if it's from the TV. I'm going to guess it's from the cartoon. Yeah.
Choose quickly. Do you know who the best person to ask? Sleeping Collectibles, right? During the 90s, was there many Ghostbuster action figures, collectibles? And I'll let you
answers in 30 seconds.
Yes. So Matty, what were you saying about the movie stuff?
So I didn't have any of the toys wise and all that. But my missus, like, she only lived like literally around the corner and up the road from us. And she had, like, as I said, she had the proton pack, she had like the ghost trap, she had all the like wearable like
That's
Ghostbuster
sexy.
stuff.
That is sexy.
Yeah.
Love it.
Aye. I'm sure she had like Ecto 1 as well, like the actual car, like for the action figures and all that. But I don't know. See, I don't remember. Like, but I'm a wee bit younger. Like
I know, but even during the 90s, I don't remember. Well, there you go. Collectibles himself has just said, I don't remember much Ghostbusters merch in the 90s at all. Like, I don't think there was much.
Aye. Must have been like
much.
Must have been just one Christmas at Argos, like where everybody got their toys.
That's what I'm saying. No, I remember briefly at Christmas time looking at the old Argos book, the Argos catalogue, where you go through and circle things
that thick.
No, that's that size. No, you go through and you circle everything because fuck it, you want everything. And I do remember seeing Extreme Ghostbusters things. I wasn't a massive fan of Extreme Ghostbusters. I only watched the film and then the real Ghostbusters, like the 80s cartoon. But like, I was always circling Power Rangers. But yeah, there you go. Like, sleep.
But that was the thing. Same with the cartoon as well. Yeah. Like, I knew there was a cartoon, but
the real Ghostbusters.
I didn't really sit down and watch that until I moved in with Susie. Like, I didn't know. I thought it was just like, it's not that. It's just I never really seen it on telly. That's the thing. Like, and so I never really knew about it. It's the same way. See stuff like Captain Planet, right? That's a pure obscure one.
I remember him roughly. Aye. See, right. Do you ever remember Fox Kids?
Aye.
Fox Kids had the real Ghostbusters.
That'll be why.
Ghostbusters. Yeah.
That'll be why. I never had cable or satellite. I had Freeview. That was the best I could do.
Fox Kids. Lads in the chat, Fox Kids. How good was that channel, by the way? Sleepy, I keep saying Sleepy, but Sleeping. He said, I forget your actual name, mate. That sounds pure bad. He said it wasn't until maybe 2005 to 2010 that I started seeing some drop. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. I don't remember much all. It was all Marvel and Nintendo, and yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I get that. So, yeah, I'm probably going to agree with you because I never really seen much like Ghostbusters figures until like in the last 10 years or so. So yeah. That's probably right actually.
That's that as well.
I don't even, he says he doesn't even remember. He doesn't even remember Extreme Ghostbusters. Oh, I remember that. Like I remember that. I just wasn't like that interested in it at all. Blue Harvest Toys has said saw Ghostbusters today. So you've seen Afterlife, cool man. We're not discussing Afterlife because Matty hasn't seen it, but like I will say that I loved it. So Blue Harvest Toys, did you love it or did you hate it? What did you think without giving spoilers away? Continue, Matty.
What was I saying?
Fox Kids.
There we go. Like, see, like cartoons like that, like Captain Planet and stuff like that. I thought that was just like cartoons that you heard about on the internet, like years later, that only American people had, sort of thing. Or you'd have to sort of like be on like all the high like satellite channels that I couldn't get because
I remember Captain Planet. I think.
Captain Planet's one of the ones that I only remember because I only know of because it came around. Like my wife showed me it because she was pure obsessed with it because it's basically the cartoon version of Bob Ross. Like you can watch it and you just be like get taken away with all like the famous people.
Bob Ross.
Like it's just like you're watching it. It's like it's a blue guy with a red uniform that has a green mullet with hockey hair.
Bob Ross.
And you're just like it sounds mental. But you could sit and watch this the whole time and just be like, he's got a good message, man. Like I totally, and I think that's
he's Captain Planet. Captain Planet.
Like, I don't know if you've watched it yet. Like, have you watched the new He-Man that Kevin Smith did yet?
I've seen a few episodes, but I had to stop watching it. Not because I didn't like it. I just didn't. I never watched He-Man, so I don't get what's going on. So I did say to myself, I enjoy like the look of it. It's beautiful. It's a really good animation. But I was like, see, Dan tried to fuck me over by like, I turned off Kevin Smith. I was like, no. I turned it off because I don't know what He-Man is. So
I think I remember you talking about this actually.
So I'm going to go back and watch it. I think part 2 is starting this month.
Part 2 is out today.
Oh yeah, okay. So I mean, it is really good. Like, don't get me, like, I mean,
that's the thing. Like,
spoilers.
I watched He-Man when I was younger, and I also watched.
I never.
But I wasn't like a fully invested fan of it, like I was with like Ninja Turtles and all that.
Oh, how good were they? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, great show.
The Turtles and Turtles and Transformers were my 2 go-tos.
I never watched Transformers. Man. I don't know why. I'm stupid that way.
I think it was more. It's like Transformers to me was the closest thing to getting into cars that I've ever got. All my brothers are like proper mechanics and all that, and that's the closest thing I could get to relate to them, because I was like, this guy turns into a robot. Like, this is.
Do you know the closest I got to Transformers was Beast Wars?
I didn't watch Beast Wars.
See, Beast Wars was the Beast version,
animal version.
Like, I loved that. That was my 90s thing. Like Beast Wars and Power Rangers. That was it. I'm happy.
But I watched like He-Man. He-Man was on like every couple of, but I didn't like invest myself in it.
Old He-Man, like the 80s He-Man.
The old one, like the 80s one. I watched that occasionally, but that was usually because it was on running at the same time as like Transformers and Turtles. Like, I watched, but I was not as invested into that because not that I wasn't into it. I did like He-Man, but it's just fantasy stuff was not really my thing at the time. I was more into like sci-fi, so that's how I liked Transformers, because I was like, robots turning into me motors. I'm all for that.
Robots in disguise.
But then like in the early 2000s, they brought out the He-Man. I don't know if it was 20X or 2X or whatever it was called. But it was like an updated version. Like, it was almost like anime level sort of. Actually,
yeah.
I think it looked a bit more graphic than the Kevin Smith version. Like, it was a bit more graphic than that. But like, saying that, the Kevin Smith version is brilliant. Like, even if you're like a bit of a casual fan, like if you know the basics of He-Man, then it makes sense to you.
I do, but I want to know
more. No, but 100%, like, you're doing the right thing if you're wanting to watch it and enjoy it, sort of thing.
But it means I've got like, I think it's like 100 episodes I've got to watch, 140 episodes. I'm like, shit. Or maybe just go to Wikipedia. Fuck it, fast track.
I think I get why everybody got annoyed with it as well, because like, spoilers, they kill off He-Man in the first episode of the.
Do you know what's funny? I actually
of the very first season. Well, but I like.
Without knowing He-Man, I'm just like, that's fucking good. That's ballsy. I like
that. But like, I get why everybody was annoyed by that, but at the same time, it's cool to kind of do that so you can focus on the background characters for a bit.
Yeah.
And then but the show's called fucking He-Man. Well, it was called He-Man. It's called the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, it could be anyone.
Like, at the same time, they're not going to kill off the main hero of the show, like, and keep him dead. Like, the entire thing.
Well,
I mean, he's not Uncle Ben. Or the Waynes. I'm
going to go back to the chat and see who's saying what.
Yeah.
So Blue Harvest said he saw Ghostbusters today. I want a proton pack, so do I, so badly. He said, love it, but it missed the comedy of Bill Murray. Yeah, it did. Like, I mean, the new film is really good and the kids are fantastic, but there's just, the thing it's missing is the humour of Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd as like grown-ass men, like grown-ass man humour. It's missing that. Although Paul Rudd did fill in a lot with the adult humour, like the grown-up humour. But what I love about Paul Rudd, without any spoilers, is Paul Rudd's character is literally us in a Ghostbusters universe. He's just like, oh my god, that's a proton pack. Oh my god, it's a ghost trap. Oh my god, that's not a Reddit, that's a real thing. Like, he was just creaming. So, like, watching him, I'm just like, that's literally me if I was in a Ghostbusters film. I'd be like, oh my god, it's a proton pack. Like, you can tell that wasn't Paul Rudd. That wasn't his character. That wasn't Gary. That was Paul Rudd excited. Being in a Ghostbusters film is mental. Aaron is Aaron is saying, what's your favourite line of things to collect? I think he's asking anyone. I'll just say something. So I'm going to say now, my Pop Funko collection. I love Pop Funkos. They cost me so much, thousands of pounds, but I love my Pop Funkos. Do you have any? Do you collect stuff like Matty? What's your thing that you collect?
Broken Dreams. No, come on.
Oh,
I
like that. Quite good.
I'm also a victim of the Pop Funko collections.
Yes.
I do like to collect Lego as well, like stuff like that, because I'm in the Scouts. I make these for like see the scarves.
Yeah.
I've been starting making these wee bad boys.
Of like
about Lego figures. So
for the wee things, that's pretty cool.
I'm going to be showing the kids how to make them, because like loads of them use just elastic bands and stuff like that because they can't afford it. And I was just like, I can literally show you. I'm going to start making them and start selling them on Etsy and all that, because
dude, that's talented. I like that. That's a talent.
It's quite well. Technically, I bought this one originally. That's the thing. That's the thing that I like to collect the most is Robin. So that was my first one, and I figured out how to make them. That's pretty
cool. That's pretty cool, man. I like that.
I've got this wee guy. This wee guy is.
And do they stay on okay? Yeah.
Yeah. They're screwed on. They're super glued, and then I put a screw through the back to hold them in place. But they're really easy to make. But like.
That's fun. That makes like Scouts and Cubs and all that fun. Like obviously, because I mean, I was in the Scouts as well, so I remember having that the neckerchief and having the little Scout bit, and it always either clipping out, and you think, oh fuck's sake, man, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man. I like that. I like that one.
But the one thing I like to collect the most is Robin stuff, and like this figure is of Damien, but it was the inspiration it made for making my cosplay one, which is this weekend. Which is
cool. Oh yeah, that's in the. Is it your Instagram?
Aye. So
the picture of you. Oh, yeah, that's quite cool.
If you follow us on Instagram, you'll see a comparison photo to that little fucker, because I used that as a scale reference for everything I made for that. It's like I could get an actual drawing of it, but I've got an actual figure there. Like, that would work.
That's quite cool, man. I really like
that. Lego and Robin stuff, mostly Star Wars Lego.
That's cool, man. I like that. I used to love Lego. I used to build anything. I used to get all the Lego stuff. My dad used to get me some stuff from Lego as well. And I loved Lego. I thought Lego was fantastic. Legos came so far though. Like, it's expensive as fuck. Like the Lego Simpsons house is like £400. I'm like, that's my mortgage. That's my mortgage for a month. That's my month's mortgage. I'm like, what? No way, man.
And the Millennium Falcon's worth more than my rent is a month.
Oh, it's like crazy. Where is it? Ryan Atkins is saying, Jordan, I know you're a big Power Rangers fan. Yes, I am. Clearly. Have you read any of the Boom Studio stuff? I've actually got like a good few issues, like graphic novels of Boom Studio. I've actually got them right here. Yeah, I'll try and get it on camera for you guys to see. Constantly taking my remote the other day and she's trying to move things about. See, you ever get that thing where like your girlfriend thinks she's doing something good for you and then she just like moves things about and you're just like, I don't like that. Yeah. So I've got this one. Look at that. I guess their new thing, Go Power Rangers. Look at that. So I've got volume 1 and 2 of that. I like Power Rangers. Sorry, I'm going to stop talking because I think the closer I'm to the mic, the more it's like, I really love Power Rangers, especially the old generation, like Mighty Morphin 2, In Space, and obviously Zordon is then destroyed, and you know it's the end of the Zordon era. But Ross, I thought we were close. We are close, man. Of course we were close. We're Power Rangers fans. But I was actually thinking that today because obviously yesterday we got the amazing news that Netflix have taken on the Power Rangers franchise, and they're going to create a whole new universe of both TV shows and films. So Ross, we have got some exciting times ahead of us with Power Rangers, obviously both kiddie stuff and adult stuff. So I'm going to do a video on it because I want to talk about it separately, like what I want to see for the future of Power Rangers, etc. So we'll not discuss this just now. I'm excited as fuck.
I've not watched Power Rangers in years.
Neither have I. Like the last Power Rangers I watched, like properly, I think it was with my younger brother Matthew. Like he loved Power. Me and him had that thing with Power Rangers. Me and Lewis were Lego, and me and Matthew were Power Rangers and wrestling. And he watched Power Rangers right up to like Ninja Storm, Jungle Fury, all that kind of one. And I think I kind of stopped watching around Wild Force and Ninja Fury or Ninja Storm or whatever.
Aye.
Now it's gone way over the top. Like there's like Netflix obviously have. I think they have the contract for Power Rangers, so they've
It was
all the
not.
new.
It was announced now. Apparently, they're doing a Netflix series, Power Rangers, and they're also going to be doing a couple of movies through Netflix.
That's the cinematic universe I was talking about. Yeah, they're doing that, but I think they've had the deal for like the older things. So like there's obviously they've still got the shows going. So like it's Beast Morphers right now.
Mm.
And then after that, I think it's a clean slate. So that's what they're doing with Jonathan Entwistle and E1 Entertainment. They're doing a new cinematic universe straight to Netflix. And I cannot wait. I'm excited. I'm nervous. But like, I love Power Rangers. So as long as they can give me for 2023, like a 30th anniversary, like legacy, fucking whatever, I will be happy. I will give Netflix every penny they want. If they want to up their subscription to 30 quid a month, I'll give them the 30 quid a month. As long as you give me what I want with Power Rangers. Jason Reitman, over the weekend there, gave me what I wanted with Ghostbusters 3. He gave me it. So if Netflix can give me what I want with Power Rangers, legacy stuff, whatever, Mighty Morphin reboot, nostalgic shit, then I will give everyone my money. So, yeah. Someone's saying, hey, Mark. Hey, Mark who? Hey, Mark. Sleeping Collectibles has said, hey, Mark. Mark who? Who's Mark? Is Mark by any chance Blue Harvest Toys? I don't know you guys' name. I just know you guys by your usernames. I think he is. Blue Harvest, is your name called Mark? Probably. Sleeping, what's your real name? Is it? I think I know it.
Is it Mark?
Maybe. I don't know. Everyone's called Mark. Ghostbusters was fun, loved it, might even buy some figures now. Yeah, because they've released obviously the figures of the older guys and they've released figures of the kids as well, like Finn Wolfhard, Logan Kim. They've not, I don't get this though, they've not released an action figure of McKenna Grace as Phoebe, obviously Phoebe Spangler, obviously Egon's descendant. Well, because I mean, her and Finn Wolfhard, aka Trevor, they're both descendants of Egon, they're both the grandkids. But McKenna Grace as Phoebe, she is literally Egon. Like she was a major highlight of that movie with Logan Kim, aka Podcast, which was so perfect that his name is Podcast. They two were highlights. I want to see they two as action figures. I think, especially McKenna Grace, I'd love to see an action figure of her because I'd buy the shit out of those action figures, especially the old guys like older Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and Bill Murray. I think Zaddy right there are doing. I think the figures are like $21.99 or $22.99 or 2 for $40. So I'm like, oh, match made in heaven. So wait a minute. Oh, now they're all taking the piss out of us because I said who's who name wise. So we've got fucking hell, man. I hate you guys. So Sleeping is called John. I knew it was something like that. So John. Blue Harvest is Mark. Drunken Theorist is, my name is Luke. No, it's not. You're called Aaron. Shut up. Right, okay, we've got it. Ross Atkins is Alfonso. And then Any World But Ours, again, is I'm Batman. It's screw the lot of you.
That's
all I wanted to know is who's Mark and who's Sleeping. That's fine. Well, do you know what? I'm Frank, and this is, what's your name again?
Castle. Okay.
Hey, good one. But yeah, Ghostbusters. Where are we at Ghostbusters wise? Right. The guys who have just joined in, obviously, aka John, Mark, etc. What are your first memories of Ghostbusters? Whether it be the cartoons, Ghostbusters 2, the first one, whatever. What are the games? What are your memories of Ghostbusters? And you can answer in 30 seconds time. As always. Sorry, wrong person. Matty. So Matty, obviously we did say briefly we were going to talk about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Oh my God. Now obviously I reacted to it. You can find the video on my channel. It's only had 13 views so far. What the fuck? But yeah. Spider-Man No Way Home. It was funny though, because Steve said he's only seen the first trailer and he's like, I'm not watching anything else. Not watching anything else. He goes and sees Ghostbusters Afterlife, produced by Sony Pictures, and the first trailer that pops up, Spider-Man No Way Home. And he had nowhere to go, so he's just like, I better just watch it. The trailer is fantastic beyond belief. Like the first teaser gave us a tease of Doc Ock. Well, it just showed Alpha Billy right there in the center. But it gave us a tease of the Green Goblin. We then obviously got a teaser poster with the Green Goblin in the background. Everyone's like, oh my God, is it Willem Dafoe? Don't know. We then got the Green Goblin in action. And we had Willem Dafoe with some new lines being like, talking about Peter Parker. And we're just like, oh my God. How did you feel about the teaser trailer?
Oh my.
Or the new trailer, sorry.
Mixed emotions. It's the best thing I can say.
All good though.
All good. I fucking loved it, but it did what I was expecting it to do as well. Like it gave away a bit too much. Like there's stuff in that trailer. Like it might be as like Marvel likes to do. It might be some stuff that's not actually in the movie. It'll just throw us off like it did with Avengers Endgame. So I think,
arseholes.
At the same time, like. I was like with the first teaser trailer when we saw Doc Ock, I was like, right, I'm cool with that. Like I am 100% on board. But in this one, they showed off nearly all of the Sinister Six, which this is basically going to be a Sinister Six movie. Like there's someone who hasn't been revealed, but 5 of them have already.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
There's, like you said, I mean, there are things that looked out of place in the trailer. Like there's things that. There's
obviously some editing in there somewhere, and then we all heard about all the shit that was going off in the Brazil trailer as well.
There's obviously the Brazil. So there's a scene. So we'll drop the scene. So there's a scene where Sandman's flying towards Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man. We then have Jimmy Fox returning as Electro, a very cool looking Electro.
Looks fucking fantastic compared to what he looked like in Spider-Man 2.
He's doing some shit, and we have Lizard doing some shit. And obviously, people are just like, right, who are they going towards? Because the way that the shot is, they're like Lizard, Jimmy Fox, Sandman, Spider-Man, and you're just like, where are they going? Now, obviously, there was like, I don't know if it's been some goofy editing, but there was a trailer, supposedly. I haven't seen the trailer. I can't find the trailer, but I can see that one bit of footage where after we see that scene, there's actually like a split second added to a Brazilian trailer that no one seems to be able to find, but only have that clip of Lizard looking as if he's been punched by someone.
Aye.
Now,
it's
could
all
it
over.
Be John? Could it be John Cena? You can't see me.
Let's be honest. It's Bonesaw, right? It's Bonesaw from the Raimi. We all know this, right?
Who is it? Is it Tobey Maguire? Is it Andrew Garfield? There's then obviously some other things where supposedly there's a shot, there's a blink and you'll miss it. Someone forgot to edit out supposedly Andrew Garfield's arm.
I've heard a couple of things about that. But it's in two separate scenes in the trailer as well.
Yeah, there's things.
There's a bit like hopefully we've all seen the trailer. I'm not spoiling it. I'm not really going to spoil the trailer, right?
Listen, see if they're on my channel, fuck them.
Aye, right. But the scene where and I hope this actually
I love
happens.
I love you guys really.
I hope this actually happens because I've heard so many comments about it and so many fucking memes seeing it, and I'm just like, see the scene that MJ's falling and Tom Holland Spider-Man is meant to be going after her.
Yeah. And
it's like the Gwen Stacy bit from Amazing Spider-Man 2. I really hope the fuck Andrew Garfield just swings in out of nowhere and just like not.
Well, that's the theory.
I fucking pray for that scene.
That's a theory. That's a theory.
And then we can have the theme tune for Spider-Man original, just like the one.
Oh my god!
What's that scene?
Amazing. And then also, like, some guy said, how cool would it be if Nickelback Hero plays? And they say there, I would love that. Like, that was a great fucking song. Like, that suited Spider-Man back then.
See if that song doesn't show up in this movie.
Even like an end credit like sequence just ends off like with like the three Spider-Men looking at each other, banged up the shit, just being like, we did good, guys. And they say that a hero could save us. That'd be amazing. That'd be like the greatest film ever. Do you know what? You know what's funny though? At the end of the day, See, right, picture the scene, right? Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire aren't in this film. Is it a bad movie? No.
It won't be, but
No.
at the same time, like, am I going to be a wee bit disappointed after all the hype that everybody in the world has the exact same idea and was like, do you know what? This is going to happen. This is a thing. And if it doesn't happen, it's not going to make the movie bad. It's not. Like, the movie's still going to be fantastic. We're still all going to go see it. It's Marvel. Like, Marvel has never had a really bad movie. Even Thor: The Dark World was still pretty. It was all right. It was not the best of. It's not obviously not the best of all the Marvel movies, but it was still an all right movie. Right?
Do you know what I like?
Same with female Ghostbusters. Like,
yeah. Do you know what I like? See, for like not a lot of people really liking it. Edward Norton, The Incredible Hulk. I like that film.
I really like him.
It's got its flaws, like it's got its issues, but like I really actually enjoyed that film. I thought it was a good film.
The only thing I really didn't like about that movie was the CGI. That was literally the only thing. And it wasn't even all the CGI. The Abomination.
The CGI was quite good.
Abomination looked amazing, but it was the Hulk CGI I thought looked a bit weird because because of like the original Hulk that we had, like the Ed Norton one, not Eric
Bana.
Eric Bana, that one. That one, I like the CGI on that was brilliant. I thought that looked like the proper Hulk. Like,
have you watched that? Have you watched that recently? So
yes, a couple of years ago because I found the DVD of it and I watched it and I was like, that's.
I bought the.
But it's one of the
Blu-ray version of it. It's actually aged. See special effects wise.
Yeah,
it's aged
pretty well
actually. Like the Hulk looks actually quite good still.
Yeah,
like don't be wrong, the film is cuckoo land.
Aye.
But like it's so cuckoo, it's like funny. Like I get the comic book split screen approach, it's pretty cool. But like special effects wise, it's actually aged pretty well.
And it's the whole like last half hour of the movie, like when it's the Hulk in the desert and all that whole scene looks fucking fun. The bit when he hits himself in the nuts with the tank and all that. That still looks brilliant. But like I think that's why it's not that I didn't like The Incredible Hulk. I did love that movie. But I think that the look of the Hulk just kind of put me off a wee bit. I was like, compared to what it used to look like, and then it feels like they kind of corrected it when they did the Hulk in Avengers. Because they kind of made it look more like the original version. Like, see that
and now he's Professor Hulk. He can talk.
He's got wee grey sideburns and all that.
I love the look of Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner.
That as well, actually.
Like the kind of scruffy kind of hair, like the kind of curly hair, and like he looks like a Banner. Like he looks like he could be a good I know this doesn't sound stupid, like a Banner.
No,
but he looks like because like. Edward Norton, the thing that I loved about the Incredible Hulk is the little bit of music, the Lonely Man music they played.
Yeah.
They played that. And when you look at Edward Norton, there was similarities between him and the original Hulk. Can't remember his name again, the guy who played him. Was it David something? I don't know. The original, like the 70s show.
Aye.
Like I had that good similarity. Like the good thing it was kind of meant to be a homage, a sort of like what the 70s Hulk was with new special effects, new glossy looked at, and it done it very well. A few issues with the plot and that kind of stuff, but we can bypass that. But it was obviously the start of the cinematic universe. They had William Hart had Thunderbolt Ross discussing the super soldier film, and you're like, oh fuck, that's Captain America. Because obviously we hadn't seen Captain America yet, so we're like, oh shit, that's Captain America. Cool.
I remember seeing this in the cinema and then doing the whole fucking, what do you call it? See the thing for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And everybody's looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like,
I know. Do you know what the thing is though? It's one of those kind of things where, see, when you watch an MCU, I know we've went so far off Ghostbusters, but fuck it. See, when you watch an MCU film now, like it's always about Easter eggs and nods and references to every other fucker's film. But see, right at the very beginning, you had like Iron Man, like a Captain America film, a Hulk film, and they're referring to you're like, oh shit. Like Iron Man had like no, it was Thor. Obviously, when the destroyer came to Earth and Coulson is like, is that one of Stark's projects. You're just like, oh shit, Tony Stark get mentioned in Thor. Woo!
Everything is connected.
Yeah, it was so like back then it was great hearing like the tiniest wee references, whereas now like everything
it's like second nature to them.
Yeah, it's
like
second nature. Yeah, exactly. You now sit and watch an MCU film and watch for the Easter eggs, the references, all that kind of shit. Whereas back then it would pop up and you're just like, oh shit. Like even a small thing like at the end of The Incredible Hulk, obviously General Ross is drinking whiskey in a bar, and Tony Stark walks in saying, we're putting together a special team. Now that became nothing. That escalated to be nothing, obviously, because The Incredible Hulk got kind of not wiped from the MCU due to Edward Norton and the fallout with Marvel, but it kind of got a soft reboot. Whereas Mark Ruffalo, his Bruce Banner does acknowledge The Incredible Hulk. Obviously, they brought back, Thunderbolt Ross, like William Hart. I liked William Hart. I thought it was good bringing him back to the aged Thunderbolt Ross. But there's not much going on with Edward Norton. There's just a few references here and there. But like, it was a shame though, because like, I wonder what they're going to do. I wonder what they would have done with General Ross and the Avengers. I'm going to go. I know. I know. I mean, we could get there. We could get the Thunderbolts.
Oh, I'm thinking, could you imagine? Like, we've got a whole Spider-Man movie with 3 different Spider-Men allegedly coming in. Like, but you never know. One of them portals could be an Eric Banner fucking.
Well, that's literally what Aaron has said. Has said, bring back Ed Norton and She-Hulk if we're doing expanded universes.
That was what I was going to say as well. The She-Hulk trailer.
She-Hulk, look, I mean, She-Hulk does look pretty good. I mean, I've started to discuss it in my channel because I've not discussed it yet, but let's discuss it now.
Apparently, it's from what I've heard, it's going to be. See, in the comics, like, I've not read much of the She-Hulk comics, but her and Deadpool are like the only 2 people that ever break the 4th wall.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a bit like that. So like, but it looks like, from what I've seen in the trailer, it does look not bad. And you even see Bruce Banner in it as Bruce Banner, not just Hulk Banner.
He's obviously controlled himself to go back to Bruce again.
But I'm kind of looking forward. I'm looking forward to that one a wee bit now, because it was the same with Loki. Loki was one of the ones that was announced, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it a watch, and it actually turned out to be not bad. Like the Disney Plus show. So like,
it does look pretty good.
Same with WandaVision. WandaVision was one of them ones I heard about it. And
I love WandaVision. WandaVision was so good.
But I think it's because like I'm one of them stupid ones. It's like the original Avengers are obviously the mainstream ones. They're pretty much my favourites, but it's the same with everybody. Like, but they are like, obviously, I understand that most of them aren't in the timeline anymore. Well, no, not in the timeline, but you know what I mean. Like, most of them are retired or whatever.
I understand that. I really do. I understand where you're coming from, because when you grow up, like when you say Marvel Comics, you say Spider-Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. Not even Iron Man. Like, I never knew about Iron Man until Iron Man in 2008, and now I'm like, fucking love Iron Man. I've got my Iron Man little unit as well.
Iron Man was one of the cartoons I watched as well.
I never saw that cartoon.
The Iron Man
X-Men. Oh,
the Iron Man cartoon was fucking fantastic, and it was purely for the suiting up sequence where it was like cartoon, and then 2 seconds later it's CGI just to get a wee bit of magnetism so he can lift his helmet up off the ground, and then it goes back to cartoon again, and you're just like,
that's cool.
See, after this, go YouTube it and watch the suiting up sequence. It's fucking hilarious. Like, it's just the amount of effort they put into it for something pure nonsensical, because he's got like the wee suitcase that he would have in the second movie in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Like, that's where that came from, because like in the cartoon he'd have a suitcase and he would be like, right, I need to Iron Man up, and he would hold the suitcase out and then the suit would just come out of it, sort of thing. It was just the suit. And so that's when I seen that in the second movie. I was like, oh, holy shit, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But you'll see it, like, I see if you watch that sequence, it's all like proper drawn animation until like his helmet appears at the bottom of his feet, and instead of bending over to pick up the helmet, his hands go magnetic to lift it up, and he's just standing there. Cool. He just stands there like that, and then it goes all CGI.
That's pretty cool.
Like 4 seconds.
But speaking of X-Men, now obviously during Disney Plus Day, and I've started to discuss it in a solo video. we got the announcement that we are getting a continuation of the 90s X-Men cartoon.
Yeah,
and it's called X-Men in 2023. It's called X-Men 97. I cannot fucking wait for that. I love the X-Men 90s cartoon so much so that my current ringtone is the theme tune. I love it. I cannot wait to see, like, so much so I can't even wait to see what Marvel do with X-Men, as in like a new reboot, whatever. I hope because obviously with Spider-Man, they brought back the old Spider-Man cartoon, you know, and made it more serious and dramatic, etc. I hope that Marvel, if they do it right, Kevin Feige knows what fans want. Bring in the old 90s theme tune and, you know, just make it all orchestrated and shit like that and use it for like a opening of an X-Men movie or something. I don't give a fuck, whatever. But just, it's such a good tune. It's such a good theme tune. Sleepy, aka John, has said, so excited for that X-Men cartoon. Yes, I'm so excited as hell.
Me as well.
Aaron has said Thunderbolts is 100% coming. Of course it is, because obviously you've got Yelena Pelova, aka Black Widow 2. You've got, you know, I was going to say Winter Soldier. You've got John Walker, US agent. So you've got all the stepping stones. You've got the foundations to create the Thunderbolts. You've got General Ross himself. William Hurt isn't going anywhere anytime soon, so he's still there. Aaron obviously said bring back Edward Norton.
Was She-Hulk not a Thunderbolt as well at some point?
I think she was briefly in the comic books, yeah. Abomination is, or Red Hulk. It's William Hurt. I keep saying William Hurt. Thunderbolt Ross. He becomes Red Hulk in the comic books. But then also we've got Ross Atkins said, "Remember when Incredible Hulk sets up the leader?" I know Incredible Hulk set up the leader. You could still get the leader. Like, we could still get him at some point, maybe through the She-Hulk, because we know that Tim Roth, this is another great continuation of the Incredible Hulk, 2008. Tim Roth, his Abomination, obviously showed up in Shang-Chi, but he's coming back for She-Hulk as well, like Tim Roth himself as Emil Blonsky. Yeah.
Aye.
So that's pretty cool they're doing that. That's another wee thing. That's a wee kind of footnote from the Incredible Hulk. So, I mean, I'm liking the fact that they're doing that. They're kind of like showing that, because like they're still fans of that movie. They're especially fans of the characters. The characters were great. Like the film wasn't like perfection, but the characters were really, really good. Like the leader, the tease of the leader by Tim. No, I can't remember who played the leader.
Was he not in?
I don't know.
I'm sure he was in. What do you call it? He was in.
If any of you guys are watching, find out, Google who played the leader in the Hulk 2008, or Matt, you just do it. whatever. Oh no, let's make it fun. Let's make it fun and interactive. The guys watching, tell us.
Do our job for us, please.
Do our job for us. What other chat I missed? Aaron said, I need to change my pants after that trailer. Oh yeah, Spider-Man trailer. Yeah, I had to change my pants as well.
Was it?
Because I literally came and shut myself at the same time.
Right, okay.
Cameron Atkins. Hey man, I don't know who you do. I know who you are? I don't think I do, actually, but welcome to the channel. He said, the more I see No Way Home, the less I get excited. Oh, that's a shame. I
get what he's talking about, though.
I get it. It's a shame, though, but I get it.
That was my original thoughts, because like I was like, yes, I'm finally getting to see what I want to see, but at the same time, I was like, see if I'd sat in the. This is why I don't like trailers. Like, I've said this before. Like 2012, all the movies I went to see, I didn't watch any trailers for them. I tried to avoid them like the plague.
Well done.
Like, even in the cinema, like if a trailer came on for something, I would actually literally just cover my ears up and just try and hum it out and close my eyes and stick my heat between my ears or whatever. Like if it was so Spiderman.
Did you not watch Avengers then trailer?
I didn't watch anything for the Avengers. I dodged that like a motherfucker.
I want your willpower.
I want that willpower back. Amazing Spider-Man as well. I didn't watch anything for the first Amazing Spider-Man.
Can you believe that came out the same year as Avengers?
Yeah, I know.
That's mental.
Because I remember going to that with the girl I was seeing at the time. We went to see that the day before we went to Blackpool for on holiday, and I was just watching it, and I was like, Andrew Garfield is actually such a cool motherfucker. Like,
He's a very cool Spider-Man.
I'd seen him in so much stuff, and I was like, but I didn't really click. And then I was like, he's like, that was the way Andrew Garfield was in that movie was basically me in high school, like a wee bit weird, but at the same time, pretty cool at the same time in my own head, right? But like,
that's fair enough.
I felt it was because he was a bit younger than Tobey Maguire. I felt I could kind of see him being a bit more Peter Parker, like high school Peter Parker sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like the fact that he was like a skater and stuff like that as well.
Yeah,
got his powers, and then he had that fight on the train as well.
They made Peter Parker cool.
Aye.
Like cooler than what he was, yeah.
Which I understand that a lot of people didn't like or don't like now because they're like the Amazing Spider-Man. Like he was a really good Spider-Man because he had all the quips and all that. He was really fast. He was funny. Which not that Tobey wasn't, but he wasn't like as good. Like he was a really good Peter Parker, I think. But
yeah,
Spidey wise,
I think when you look at it now, when you look back at the films now, Tobey Maguire was just the nerd.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield was the nerd with a little bit of cocky funniness about him. Like he could have a wee bit of humour to him. And Tom Holland is like both of them put together.
Yeah.
Times 100. He's just like he's fucking full on. Like there's not. But you know what as well though? Like he's not. Tom Holland's one's not really a nerd because he got the girlfriend straight away. He got the cool girl straight away. So he wasn't as nerdy and kind of took him long to get a girlfriend. Like it kind of fell into place.
I mean, he really is. He is really nerdy. In the first movie, they're building a Lego Death Star for God's sake.
Well, yeah.
But like, yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Good point.
I get what you mean. But like,
Tim Blake Nelson. Ross said there, Tim Blake Nelson. That's who played the leader because he plays Looking Glass from Watchmen. Do you ever watch that Watchmen show? The show.
I've still not. I can't find it anywhere. That's like because I don't have I don't know where to find it. Legally.
It's on Now TV. I think still catch up.
I might be able to get on Now TV.
It's very good. It's very good.
I've heard it's really good, and it's mostly from Kevin Smith. But at the same time, I listen to that man.
Extremely good. I listen to that man as well, but it's extremely good. But anyway, back to what you're saying about Spider-Man.
Yeah. So like when I went to see Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, me and my girlfriend at the time had started watching the Spider-Man cartoon.
The 90s one.
The 90s one when it was on Netflix. So we were watching that. The very first two episodes were the one about the lizard. And see, watching it and then watching the movie, we were like, they've pretty much made that cartoon into like live action CGI.
That's pretty cool.
Because it's really close. It's really close to that sort of. Because the whole bit where he's down in the lab in the sewers and all that, that's in the cartoon. Like
that's pretty cool.
Like I was pure like when I heard it was the lizard. Like Lizard's one of my favorite Spidey villains, just purely because it's
great villain,
great villain, and he's a guy like he's a scientist that try to fix a disability that he's got as well.
Yeah.
Which with diabetes, I'm all for that. Like that's some sort of mad science I'd try if I had something properly debilitating. But like. There was one we see. Like, the only thing that really annoyed me about the lizard was like they didn't have him in his lab coat for very long. They had it, and then they basically shot it off him.
Yeah.
And then I was like, So I'm hoping that they kind of like for a wee bit longer he's wearing a lab coat, just doing some science. Like, just give me that. Like, I'll be happy. Like in this new Spidey.
That's a good point. No, because you're kind of like when you think of lizards, you think of him going about in a kind of torn up lab coat, whereas in a 2012 movie.
Some purple pants.
Yeah, it was there and it just kind of disappeared out of nowhere. The drunken Aaron said, "Why would you go to Blackpool for a holiday? Horrible place." Do you know why? I can answer that question. Money. Yeah, that obviously because us Scots, we're poor.
That's so fancy for us.
Yeah, our ideal holiday is Blackpool. That's a holiday for us. That's fancy, but also as well because we're Scottish. When we travelled somewhere, that's a holiday. Whereas you guys are a long load from it, that's not a holiday. Like you come into Scotland, you're like, that's a holiday. We're like, no, it's not, it's hell.
I mean, like
I love Scotland. I love Scotland.
That's not saying that Scotland isn't a beautiful country, right? There are parts of it. Parts of it are fucking stunning. But
I love Blackpool. I think Blackpool's brilliant.
I like Blackpool for a weekend. Like I wouldn't live there.
Oh no, I wouldn't go for a week. I wouldn't go for I'd go for a week to Amsterdam. I wouldn't go for a week to Blackpool. Fuck that.
Aye. Like, but see if you Google Greenock, right? Like, you'll get an idea of where I the sort of environment I'm in. Like anywhere as a holiday, like literally 2 feet over the borderline is a holiday for us. Like
that's brilliant. Ross Atkins says, I want Kevin Smith to. I love how professional I sound. So Ross Atkins, who's watching, says, I want Kevin Smith to write another comic. I know he wrote Detective 1000, but I want something else, or maybe it'd be better if he actually finished his Batman comic. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good point. Like Kevin Smith is a really good comic book writer, like a very good comic book writer. He's a good writer of dialogue. Good, Clerks 2, etc. He's a very good comic book writer. If I was to choose, I mean, like everyone's going to say, you're going to obviously say, I'd love to see him do a new Superman comic book. Obviously, we sadly never got to see his Superman Lives or Superman Reborn movie script. I mean, I would love to see him actually doing a comic book adaptation of his original Superman Lives script, because like, you can get the script online, like the script's there available. But how cool would it be if we got like an actual like comic book graphic novel of his? He produced the dialogue and all that kind of stuff, and we got some guy to do the drawings, etc. J.J. Abrams obviously he done a similar thing. He done a Spider-Man comic with him and his, I think it was him and his son done it, something like that. Anyway, I've not read it. I can't seem to find it anywhere. It kind of went into obscurity. But no, I'd love to see Kevin Smith go back to writing comic books. I think it'd be very good. I think it'd be quite cool. It'd be nice and refreshing.
I think like what I'd like to see Kevin do would be, since I've seen how well that him and Mark did on He-Man, Captain Planet. Genuinely,
Captain Planet.
They took like
Captain
see
Planet.
the way they handled He-Man and made it a bit not more adult, but like encouraged the older fans that used to watch it again, but also encouraged newer fans to watch it as well, like in a way. So they kind of covered a good range of the audience. I reckon they could do that pretty well, because it's the same sort of era, like from cartoon wise. Like, I don't know how if they're as big fans of this as they are of Masters, obviously, but
yeah.
I just personally think we need Captain Planet in our lives right now just to kind of save this fucking planet.
Do you know the last time I heard about Captain Planet?
20 minutes ago when I said
that's true. No, several years ago, like 5+ years ago, Leonardo DiCaprio, his production team, had like purchased the rights to Captain Planet for him to star in a Captain Planet movie as Captain Planet. And like I said, I don't know enough about Captain Planet. But
all you really need to know about Captain Planet is he's mad colours, he has a mullet, he's basically, if he was anybody, he would be Canadian, and he wants to save the planet. He wants to bring pollution down to zero.
Well, that kind of going with Leonardo DiCaprio's views on the world, that's the only reason why he probably purchased the rights. So he could do like a movie of like, it's a superhero, but he's also, wanting like pollution and kind of shit like that. So I'm like, nah, maybe not. But do you know what?
If he was to direct it, if he was to direct that, I would watch the shit out of it.
Like, Can he direct? I don't even know.
I don't know.
That could be his next thing, directing.
But it could be a good challenge for him. Like, and as I said, like, get a good Canadian. You get Ryan Reynolds to do a double superhero. Like, he could be Deadpool and maybe could be Captain Planet as well. Like, just
easy.
Just shit in the bin.
Easy, done deal. Ross Atkins, though, like I said, obviously, I'd love to see him do his Superman, like Kevin Smith do his a comic book adaptation of his Superman Lives script. Off topic of like comic book, I would love to see Kevin Smith help tackle Power Rangers for Netflix. Because Kevin Smith's a cool fan. He's a cool guy. He's a comic book fan. He's a lover of like nostalgia. Now, I've never really heard Kevin Smith talk about Power Rangers. I know, obviously, during the 90s of the Power Rangers era beginning, he was in his like 20s. Obviously, Clerks, Mallrats, etc.
He does like more recent cartoons as well because he likes the Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that. But that's obviously because
I love the Powerpuff Girls.
That's because he's had a kid. Like he's got Harley,
exactly.
so he's got an excuse.
Exactly. Well, he said that he said that Dora the Explorer. He used to love getting high and watching Dora the Explorer with the kid, with obviously Harley. Same with Adventure Time. Now, supposedly, he said that Adventure Time. No, he never said this supposedly, but like he said that supposedly, if you're high, Adventure Time is fantastic.
Adventure Time's fantastic, even if you're not high. To be honest, like,
I was going to say I've watched it a few times and thought it's actually pretty good. It's very like weird,
it's dark. It's dark in places, like but...
it's odd. But like I've never really heard Kevin Smith talk about Power Rangers, so I mean, it could be interesting because obviously to see what he could do with Power Rangers, because obviously he's big on nostalgia, etc. So it could, I don't know, maybe see what happens. Powerpuff Girls. Now, have you ever heard of the fact that they're doing there's CW are doing a live action Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah, I heard
they actually you're going to say it. You say it first.
They had problems or something that I heard.
Yeah.
Like there were some complications.
So they filmed a pilot starring the likes of Dove Cameron. Don't know who she is. She's a Disney girl, but anyway, Dove Cameron and two other girls. One was from Agents of Shield, I think. Yeah. So and it had Donald, what do we call him? Turk from Scrubs as his dad.
Oh yeah.
So it had some things I was like, all right, because obviously they're setting it. It was supposed to be a live action sequel to the old cartoon. So they're now older, wiser, they're in their 20s. I'm like, that's kind of cool, I guess. Like they've kind of done something like you. So it's kind of like you've grown up with you've grown up with the Powerpuff Girls. So that's pretty cool. And then the script leaked.
Yeah.
And then the pilot got shut down and they're reworking it and they're trying to do a new version because the version they had was terrible. And then Dove Cameron has left due to creative differences. So have you read any of the leaked pages that was leaked for the Powerpuff Girls pilot? The one that's going to be originally going to happen?
No, I've not read them. I've heard on Batman Beyond. They talked about it, and I heard stuff that it was going to be about like
it's
the girls.
Shocking.
Yeah,
it's shocking. It's like I'm going to say it's on the verge of disgustingly shocking. Like they were toying with things like dialogue with like like I can't remember the name of the Powerpuff Girls though. I can't remember their name anyway. But they were Bubbles and
Blossom and Buttercup.
Yeah, Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup. They were all kind of teasing each other and toying with each other, and like Bubbles, if you don't give me back the dress that I lent you a few weeks ago, I'm going to leak your nudes.
Yeah,
that's creepy. Like you do need to remember they are now adults, so it's not the the 6-year-old girls and stuff like that.
I know,
so,
but
like I get it, and I get the kind of I get the kind of now times.
That's the thing. That's just still a cartoon.
When do you? I would never threaten my brother and be like, if you don't give me back though that aftershave that I gave you a few weeks ago, I'm going to leak pictures of your willy. It's just fucking weird. It's strange dialogue. But we're actually losing viewers, so I'm going to stop talking about Powerpuff Girls. I'm intrigued, but let's just do a new cartoon, cartoon or whatever. I don't know.
They did a new one recently, did they not?
They've done a new cartoon recently. They've done a film as well.
They updated it, and it doesn't look too far off from the original one, but at the same time, it was pretty good because I've watched a wee bit of it. I haven't sat down and watched like a full episode.
Mojo Jojo. Great character. But yeah, Powerpuff Girls. It was just like the on-set pictures of them in costume. I was like, they look pretty good. Yeah. Like they're grown-up girls, so they've got obviously they look kind of hot. But then you're like, but they at one point were 6-year-old. And I was like, it's really fucking weird. But anyway, enough about Powerpuff Girls. So yeah, Ghostbusters. Like this is what I love about you and me going live. We always go off and we're like
such a tangent.
hour later we're just like, so Ghostbusters. The first film, I love it. I love Ghostbusters. It's great. I don't know what else is really to say. The practical effects, like that's something that the Afterlife done really well, is have a lot of practical effects with the terror dogs and certain ghosts here and there and all that kind of stuff. Like rewatching, like I rewatched Ghostbusters last week with Kirsty, and we watched it in the 4K TV downstairs, and it still looks really good in 4K. Like it really looks good. Like it's a fantastic film. Like it's aged so well. Don't get me wrong, the terror dogs, their stop motion effects and the running, it's not that good. But
that's stop motion effects. But
yeah, exactly. Like stop motion will never age well at all. Like it just is what it is. Right? I don't care what people say.
It's like the Rancor from Star Wars as well. Like
yeah, he's not,
but he's good. He's good. He's good purely because if George Lucas was to CGI him, we'd all be raging even more than we are with CGI fucking Yoda in the prequels. But you know, this is where you shout benefits cheap. But
hey,
like
you remembered, well done.
Never forget.
Fantastic.
But like, I can't remember what I was talking about there. No, like so
the Rancor.
Aye, so like it depends on. I think it depends on the way it's shot and the way that it's delivered as well. Because like the same with the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. That's why that's why that has held up for so long, because it is a practical T-Rex in bits, but it's also CGI in other bits.
But it works so well. Like, even a CGI. Don't get me wrong.
It's spotty in places now because we're all.
Yeah, you recognize the CGI, but it's still so smooth.
Yeah, it's the same way. It's the same with the prequels, like the Star Wars one, like as well. Like, the first one, like second, like Attack of the Clones is the one that's the biggest fault because you can spot a lot of real spotty CGI. I watched
even the green screen. Everyone's talking about the green screen.
Yeah, I watched Phantom Menace today just because I was out. Like I took I had to go in the town to get a shopping, so I put Phantom Menace on for the dogs, so they had something decent to watch, you know, educate them. And it's a 2-hour long movie, so like it'll keep them interested for a good wee bit. And like the scene with most of the scenes with Jar Jar, like don't really hold up well when they're next to like live action characters that are actually there. But when it's like the droids versus the Gungans at the end, it looks not bad because it's all CG. And like you don't really notice how bad it is, sort of thing.
Yeah. Also, like back in the Phantom Menace and even Attack of the Clones, all CGI scenes, like just CGI on CGI on CGI, looked all right. CGI with live action characters, not so good. Yeah. Live action characters, what about on green screen, blue screen, not so good. Like you said about the Jar Jar Binks, the scene where Jar Jar's like just picking shit up at the dinner table with his tongue, and Qui-Gon grabs it. You do kind of think, what's he actually touching? Like, what is he? He doesn't. Something's not quite
lining up.
Yeah, there's something not quite right. What were we fucking? Oh yeah, but Ghostbusters, yeah. So obviously stop motion. Stop motion doesn't really do that way. I mean, it's not really good.
Holds up sometimes, but not all the time.
But the practical effects of the terror dogs back then, the practical effects of the terror dogs, and this is not a spoiler because you know they're in it, are really good in this film. Even if, don't get me wrong, like the Afterlife is made for $75 million, which you think that's not that much. Obviously, it's a lot of money, but it's not much in terms of a big blockbuster film. And I think that's what's going to make the money back so much, because obviously it was made for so little. Then it'll make so much money back. Don't get me wrong. Like I said this to Dan, like I like really like I made a point that it doesn't mean it's made to look cheap. It's like Afterlife looks so good, like it's really good. The CGI of the terror dogs, when they need to be CGI, because obviously they do need to be CGI, like, but there's a smooth transition between the animatronic to the CGI. Steve said he noticed a few things where it wasn't that smooth a transition.
That's the thing, you guys have got a bit of like that sort of experience, I guess, like because like you've done
within reason.
I'm not saying obviously you're not like animators and all that sort of thing. Like you're not like, high level, but you can kind of pick up on things.
Yeah, like I done animation. Pardon me, sorry, back in the day. So we did dabble with special effects. Like so you do do you know what it is though? Like, not even a CGI, but see when you transition from a real person to like a CGI person, there's always that split second in the frame. You're just like, there you go, you're CGI now. Don't get me wrong, like in later years, the CGI is spot on because it is obviously motion capture, so they're already pretty much CGI. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, there was a few things that Steve said he can notice the transition. I never noticed it that much, but I was looking at the CGI terror dogs in Afterlife and being like, in 30 years' time, are we going to look at it and be like, oh, that's bad. That's not aged well. You wonder though. It's weird, obviously, because obviously CGI works differently than stop motion effects.
But that's the thing. Like as I was saying, when Jurassic Park came out, that was a first. What they did was like the CGI with a practical puppet essentially.
Yeah.
And it's held up well because of the way it was shot and everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Like even when Phantom Menace came out, that was like the top tier of CGI at the time, and everybody thought it was going to be amazing. Like we were going to look back on this and it was going to be fantastic. But now it's progressed so fast and so well that we can look back at it and we can spot all the mistakes and all the sort of bits when it looks shoddy.
Do you not think that's funny how we can look at the likes of Jurassic Park? We can look at the likes of Jurassic Park, Terminator 2. Even Starship Troopers, because obviously they had the same special effects director as Jurassic Park had. They've aged so well, and they were like 5-10 years before, Phantom Menace, say for example. But when you look at Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, like, there's more to do with CGI, but it's not aged as well as like they have. Like there's like they overly CGI'd shit.
It's the same. Like when you think about it, like the way we think about Phantom Menace CGI just now could be how we think about The Mandalorian. In 20 years. Because that's the first for that whole surround, like the way they shot that with the screens and everything.
Yeah, you're always going to be
But we don't know. It's just it depends on the technology we've got at the time. Like that's the thing. Like
exactly.
Right now that looks top tier, but in about 20 years that could look absolutely shit. We don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. It really is. It's
not that I don't. I think the Mandalorian looks fantastic, guys. Before everybody leaves and goes like, he doesn't fucking like anything. Shut up, right? I think it looks amazing. Just put it out there. Like I'm just saying, in the future, it might not look as good as we think it looks now. That is all. Like just because we don't have the imagination to think of what it could possibly look like in the future.
Exactly.
Because we're not in that sort of business.
No, of course not. As I'm saying, like I hate. That's the thing as well. Like, is it because obviously, like people like ask you to be critical on films, critical on certain things, and me and Steve and Dan have spoken about this like several times on the podcast. Like, obviously, we're going to be critical because obviously they were critical of Halloween Kills. I've been critical of.
Like, really? I haven't noticed.
I know. I was critical of obviously Attack of the Clones. They've been critical of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, the Rise of the Skywalker, what is it fucking called? The Rise of Skywalker.
Sure. I don't know. It's one of your favorite Star Wars movies, apparently.
The Rise of Skywalker. It's not my favorite, but I enjoy it. 2 seconds. Kirsty's now texting me quickly. 2 seconds. That's funny. She's going to get stuff from McDonald's for me, and I've just realised I've said that live on YouTube. Fat bastard. Anyway, so what was I going to say? Fuck yeah. So obviously we still do maintain that thing where we're like, we can't be like overly critical. Like we're never going to meet J.J. Abrams and be like, you fucking ruined Star Wars, because at the end of the day, the fuck have we done? What do we know? Like, we're just being critical. No, that is though. We're being critical as fans because obviously we love Star Wars, we love Halloween, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be critical of like something we love. But when it comes down to the craftsmanship, like the creative side, you can't really be truly critical of that, because at the end of the day, what have we done? Like we're just YouTubers, we're just podcasters.
I like how you said that you're never going to meet J.J. Abrams, but you left out the fact that Ryan Johnson. So is he still?
Yeah.
Is he answering your emails yet, or
No,
what's
no, no,
happening?
no. I was so close to getting them on, but Dan ruined that by saying something. I know. I love that ongoing joke. Like, it's funny though, because it actually, do you know what? It's one of those kind of things where it works, because every once in a while I'll just throw in Ryan Johnson, and it'll just like they'll forget and they'll start laughing. Quickly. Sleepy, aka John, has said I love Chloe Burnett. Chloe Burnett was in Agents of Shield. She was going to be playing one of the Powerpuff Girls. That's right. That pilot was so bad they scrapped it, and some of the cast quit. That's a shame. I only know that Dove Cameron left. I really wanted to see a live action Mojo Jojo. Yeah, me too, because I can't remember who was cast. Someone was cast as Mojo Jojo. I don't know if it was going to be like a CGI Mojo Jojo, but supposedly, according to insiders, not my insiders, it wasn't going to be the Mojo Jojo that we
know and love.
know. So I don't know if they've maybe thought of a way of maybe having Mojo Jojo's brain put into like a human sacrifice, a human body, and he's like, I don't know. Listen, it would not surprise me.
I know.
The shit I read from that script, it would not surprise me if they'd done something like that.
Although it is the CW, and they've tackled gorillas CGI
Exactly.
before. Like,
Good point.
They've done Gorilla Grodd, and they did that. They did the whole Gorilla World like mind, and it was pretty good. Like,
good point.
It wasn't like top tier level CGI, but it was like good for a TV show.
For
CGI.
TV wise, yeah.
So like it's something they could do. I think they could pull off a CGI Mojo Jojo.
Yeah, that's not so bad then. Ross Atkins said, "I'd rather meet Ryan Johnson. He seems like a nice guy, He does. Like, so does JJ. JJ's a great guy. He's a great guy. I like JJ Abrams. I think he's a great guy. I've just written myself. Ryan Johnson, though, like Ryan Johnson, the one thing that we do actually say is like Ryan Johnson he has potential. He's a good writer. He's a good director. Like Looper was good. Like could have maybe trimmed off a few, maybe half an hour at the end because he get to the point of obviously, no return. Knives Out, fantastic film, like a really good whodunit film, really really good, and I'm looking forward to Knives Out 2 and 3 going on Netflix. He's good. He is a really good writer and director. But I would probably rather meet J.J. Abrams because just for the pure fanboy service of because he done Star Trek. I love Star Trek. Like Star Trek 09 is like god tier Star Trek. Star Trek Into Darkness, it's decent. I like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy the alternate Khan, and but I just think Benedict Cumberbatch could have played something different. Could have been something different. Or if you're going to do Khan, can I remember Benicio del Toro was cast as the Star Trek villain, and he had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. Now, if you look at Benicio del Toro as Khan, they could have given the big wig and the big kind of, Ricardo, whatever the guy was called to play Khan. I'd have been like, oh shit! But it was Hollywood's worst kept secret of its time. You're just like, he's playing Khan. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. He's playing John Harrison. No, he's not. He's Khan. Similar to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, they're not in Spider-Man No Way Home. Yes, they are. No, they're not. How do you know? Because they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. Maybe. You know what I mean? It's just.
You know what? Now that you've said it, could you just imagine like if this whole trailer debacle that we've all been pure dissecting for the last week is just Marvel just taking the absolute fucking piss out of us?
Yeah.
Like this is all stuff that is so.
I think Kevin Feige could do that.
Because Kevin Feige would not leave these obvious clues there deliberately unless it was either a piss take or someone is getting fired.
Well, Kevin Feige did say earlier this year, I think he was promoting. He was promoting Black Widow in June, July time. I think it was one of the premiere of Black Widow, and he was getting asked again. Also, the tedious questions everyone seems to get asked. What fuck every other film? Fuck Black Widow, Eternals, every other Marvel film. What can you tell me about Spider-Man No Way Home? And he did actually he was like, I'm going to be brutally honest here. Like, I love the fan theories. I love the all the conspiracies, etc. They're actually really entertaining. But And some are, so he did actually be honest and say some are right, some are way at the ballpark. He says, but fans who think it's this are either going to be so disappointed or so happy, and so on and so forth, vice versa. So Kevin, I think the thing with No Way Home is we're all theorizing. I'm doing it. We'll all do it. I mean, I'm doing it my channel. We're doing it in person. Doing it with Steve and Dan. Doing it with you. We're all going to do it.
This is why I stopped watching trailers in 2012. But because
it's pointless theorizing
about like a whole load of every time I was watching a movie like Dark Knight and all that sort of stuff, I would watch it and then I'd be pure disappointed because I'd built it all up in my head, or I'd listened to other people as ideas about it and had that in my head, and then went and watched and it was something completely different sort of thing.
Did you just say you're disappointed with Dark Knight?
No. Like the reason, like that's what I mean. Like I watched because I was watching like trailers before 2012 sort of thing. Like I was watching trailers all the time, so like I was getting all these seeing stuff, then making up a sort of like try to think of how these scenes could be linked sort of thing in my head, and then going to the cinema and getting something different. Sometimes I'd be happily surprised, like in The Dark Knight. But there'd be times where I'd watch it, the trailer would probably be better than the movie sometimes, like Green Lantern. That was literally the first movie I ever went to the cinema and came out and I genuinely wanted to ask for my money back, but I was a kid, so I didn't, because I'm polite like that.
I kind of enjoyed it back in the day, but then I was like, I don't know why I enjoyed it, to be honest.
I don't even hate the movie. That's the thing. Like I didn't like.
No, I hate the movie. I hate the movie.
But I had a pure distaste for Ryan Reynolds after it as well. I felt like I couldn't trust the man, and then he did Deadpool.
I felt bad for that guy. I felt bad for him.
I like now looking back, I feel bad. I felt bad for him. Like just he shouldn't have done that.
Do you know? See the problem with Green Lantern. I really liked Ryan Reynolds. I liked Hal Jordan, like the CGI suit and all the kind of shit he could do. You know, it's funny because he's a big kid basically. But I love looking back and seeing all the shit that Ryan Reynolds got for that film. And now look at his Deadpool, these Free Guys, Pikachu's, everything. And it's one of those kind of things where it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game. Like I don't hate Ryan Reynolds. He was just a guy who was just saying a deal. He was like, fuck it. I'll make this money. I'll do this. Fuck it. Why not? But it is obviously now it's like pile of shit, like terrible. Like God, like why? Like it's funny. It's funny how he just disses it. Like he openly disses it. Like even in Deadpool, like I don't make my suit green or animated. And you're just like, that's brilliant, genius writing.
I haven't watched it since I came out of the cinema, to be honest. But
neither have I.
I do, and I think the bits that I do remember were like when he was training to be the Lantern. Like I remember
that was pretty cool.
That was cool. Like the Kilowog character CGI, I thought looked amazing. Sinestro, like the guy that plays, was it Mark Strong that plays Sinestro?
Yeah, he was brilliant. He was so good.
He's fucking fan. I love him and everything he's in though, man. He's just brilliant.
He'd be a great Bond villain.
I think see if he had hair, he'd be a great Bond.
He lost out on.
Did you hear about The Rock wanting to be Bond as well? Like,
I love The Rock. I love The Rock. Like The Rock's a really good actor. I think he's a good actor. I think The Rock could be not a James Bond. Never.
I think he'd be a good villain. I think.
I don't even think he'd be a good Bond villain. I think he'd be a very good henchman. But I said this to Steve. I said he'd be a very good henchman, but I think he thinks he's better than that.
I think that's what he said. I don't know if it was an interview or a tweet or whatever, but he wants to play Bond, not a villain, because
not gonna happen.
I was like, he's too. It's not that I'm against like big muscly guys playing, like, but I just think personally, I think he's just too big because like Bond's meant to be, like a gentleman,
exactly,
sort of thing. Not that The Rock isn't a gentleman. He's an absolute gent. But
it really is in person. Like, I mean, I'm not met him, but like when you follow him on Instagram, he's amazing.
Everything you hear about him and like the way the videos that he puts up with him and his kids and all that, he's a good guy. He's like
Keanu Reeves. Like he's just a guy. He's just salt of the earth. He's just a great guy. Like, I mean, do you know what? Have you seen Keanu? So obviously everyone's like crying out for Keanu Reeves to join the MCU, and Keanu Reeves actually just out of the blue get asked by an interviewer. I think it was Esquire or GQ magazine. Obviously, he's promoting the new Matrix, which looks fucking so good. Like Steve's like creaming. This is like his height. So like our highlight is Spider-Man. Like he's looking forward to Spider-Man. Like no way. He's like obviously he's so looking forward to it. But like the Matrix Resurrections, if that film is terrible, that man is committing suicide. I swear, like he is. He's committing suicide. He's got the tattoo and everything. He's committing suicide. So Keanu Reeves was promoting the Matrix or whatever he was doing. He was doing an interview anyway. I'm more like I love Matrix. I'm looking forward to the new one, but I'm more jacked for John Wick 4. I love John Wick. He loves John Wick as well. Steve loves John Wick, but like he's like right now he's like Matrix. I'm just like nah, John Wick. I'm looking forward to the Matrix 4, but like John Wick. So Keanu Reeves got asked like, how would you feel about joining in the MCU? And I love it. I love what he says. Like he doesn't even say fuck I. Of course I would love to join it, or nah, I'm not interested in that. He doesn't say it. He doesn't say like I'd love to join it. Yeah, of course I would. Who wouldn't? It's fucking money. He literally says it would be an honor to be part of the MCU. I'm just like, that's why that man deserves to be in the MCU. He's not in it for the money. He's not. Well, you are obviously, but he's not going to do that. He's not in it for like it'd make my nephew, my niece happy as pig and shit because I'll be starring next to the Hulk. He just does it as it would be an honor. And I'm like, yes, it would be you. It'd be an honor. It would be an honor to have him part of the MCU, let alone be an honor for him to join the MCU. I love that man. I want that man to be in the MCU. So Kevin Feige, if you're watching, which you'll never be watching this channel, but you never know. Or if you've read Keanu Reeves' interview, because it's everywhere now, he wants to be part of the MCU. Cast him as either Ghost Rider. He'd be great as Reed Richards, but not now. He's too old. So cast him as Ghost Rider or cast him as the Silver Surfer. Oh my God.
Can I offer another suggestion?
Victor Von Doom.
Gambit. From the X-Men.
No.
I think he'd be a good Gambit. Like, I'd genuinely, because he could be a lot better than that guy that showed up in X-Men Origins anyway. But
it'd be terrible that guy. Do you know what I miss? I miss Channing Tatum. Remember he signed on to Gambit. I'd been a great Gambit. Steve is gutted that never happened. Obviously, I call him Channing Tatum. He looks like Channing Tatum. Doesn't actually, but in my head he does.
It's like I know there's been hundreds of like fan casts of like what the MCU X-Men, who they would be like, who would be good and all that, and there's been a couple that I've heard. I've been like, really? And then there was one that I heard was Wolverine. What's his name? Eggsy from Kingsman.
Tom Egerton. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
I could see that because like he's not exactly huge. Like he's not a tall boy, but Wolverine's not meant to be tall. Wolverine's barely 5 foot in the comics. Like
so it could work.
Like it would work I've always thought he'd be a great Robin as well. Personally, like I've always looked at the Kingsman movies as like Dick Grayson training montage.
Okay.
But like I've always said, like if they ever did a live action Robin, like he should be one of the ones they ask, because like I think he would be, because he does like a load of the stunts and stuff like that as well. So
he's good. He's good,
and he's in the right sort of age group. He's not like Chris O'Donnell, who is like 40 trying to play a 10-year-old.
Yeah, good point actually. Anyway, mate, I've had fun. You had fun?
I've had fun. This has been a good.
I had more questions for you, but we're blabbering on now.
We're on the 2-hour mark nearly.
I know, we're nearly the 2-hour mark. So I've had fun. Matty Monsta, Who Cares Nerds? It's been a pleasure as always. Will you come back on again? We'll come back. We'll get you. We'll get you back on it as if I've got a team of like guys. I'll get you back on again. We'll do another live in a few weeks' time. Everyone who watched tonight, who joined in a live chat, I really appreciate you guys. I really do from the bottom of my heart. You're not just my viewers, my audience, you're my friends, my online friends. Matty, I consider you a friend. I really consider, Ross, Sleepy, Blue Harvest, Aaron, Luke, you name it. We're all one team. And the good thing is we've got a great wee community. We really have. And that's what me, Steve, and Dan say on the podcast, The Old Republic. We love the fact that you've brought us in, you've accepted us into your community. So we really do. We really appreciate it every day. We really appreciate it because you guys have just gave us you gave us a glimmer of hope. I mean, that's all we need nowadays is hope that something is successful enough. But yeah, Matty, have you had a good time? Have you had fun?
I've had fun talking all the shite about Ghostbusters and Spiderman
And
and
everything
everything
else,
else,
as per usual,
and Captain
random
Planet.
chats, Captain Planet as well. Um, I'll send you the lucky bag in the post. I loved when the 90s shows finished. It's like, "Do you have a good time today?" "Yes, we'll send you the lucky bag." We'll give you a lucky bag. We'll give the this morning bag of shite coming down from the roof. But yeah, I've been Jordan, that effing guy. That's been Matty Monsta from Who Cares Nerds. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. And I'll see you guys in the next video or next live show. And we're not, I'm going to say end, but it's not end. Right. I'm going to do